Imagine starting your day with clarity, ending it with reflection, and feeling fully present in between. This is the kind of intentional living we're moving toward, together. Welcome to the Mindful Edit podcast, where we explore self-reflective questions, mindful habits, and small daily shifts to help you live with purpose, intention, and connection. I'm your host, Annette Furio, founder of Season Journals, and I'm glad you're here. Hello, and welcome to the Mindful Edit podcast, where we talk about living with intention, practicing mindful habits, and experiencing well-being through journaling and self-reflection. I'm your host, Annette Furio, founder of Season Journals. The concept of self-care has become a bit of a buzzy trend in recent years. I think we can all agree. But today I'd like to talk about self-care's cousin, a concept that's talked about a little bit less, and that's self-love. Today we'll answer these questions. First, what is self-love? Why is self-love so important? And how can we get better at it? Because loving ourselves can have some powerful effects on our lives, including stronger interpersonal relationships, greater self-confidence, greater likelihood that we'll reach our goals, and better overall life satisfaction. If that sounds like a good outcome to you, stay tuned for this episode of the Mindful Edit. Before we get started, let's take a moment to ground ourselves and close your eyes if you are able to. Take a big inhale and exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale through your nose. Inhale one last time and exhale through your mouth. Relax your jaw. Bring your shoulders up and down your back. Tilt your head to the left and to the right. Stretch your neck. And now today, because we're talking about self-love, go ahead and give yourself a big hug. I know it sounds silly, but think of it as just a really easy way to show yourself some self-love. Here are 3 affirmations you can say aloud or to yourself to start today's reflection. I am worthy of my own love today and every day, no matter the circumstance. Loving myself is essential to my happiness and my ability to grow. I can love myself and be driven to achieve greater things at the same time. So, what comes to mind when you think about the concept of self-love? I'll tell you what I think about. For me, I think about unconditional love, that is, love without any strings attached. Then my mind goes to a more action-oriented manifestations of self-love, like taking time for myself, doing the things I love, doing the things where I thrive. I think about self-confidence because I think people who love themselves are also typically pretty confident. I think about the phrase self-care is selfish and conflicting feelings on how much time we give to loving and caring for ourselves. I think about the comparison that's made to putting on your own mask first and then helping others. I think about the paradox of self-acceptance, but still wanting to change things about myself. And I think that self-love seems like a bit of a nebulous concept at sometimes. I'm guessing you've thought about some of these things and probably others. So let's start to unpack some of the questions that I set out to answer at the beginning. What is self-love? Why is self-love so important? And how can we get better at it? Let's start with the definition of self-love. A 2023 paper published by Henschke and Settlemeyer defined self-love as a psychological construct composed of 3 core components. The first is self-contact, being aware of and paying attention to your own thoughts, emotions, and bodily experiences. Number 2 is self-acceptance, accepting yourself fully, including your strengths and imperfections. And number 3, self-care, taking actions that protect and nurture your well-being, allowing you to maintain a healthy relationship with yourself. Let's talk a little bit about these three components. Self contact. This is self awareness. How self aware do you feel? I have friends and community members that say by a certain age, they feel much more self aware, and that's when they really begin to thrive. Decisions become clearer, boundaries are easier to stick to, they feel generally more confident. And while wisdom absolutely comes with time, at any age you can live your life with more clarity the more you partake in activities that help you become more self aware. Journaling is one way, of course. Maybe it's talk therapy. Maybe it's spending more time alone with your thoughts. Maybe it's reading and learning different perspectives to form your own. Maybe it's taking the next best step toward living in line with your values. The next component is self acceptance. Can you love yourself completely as you are with your strengths and talents and your imperfections? I like that they use the word imperfection because we will forever have imperfections. We're not going to be perfect and we're not going for perfect because it doesn't exist and it's not the point. Hopefully, this makes it a little bit easier to grasp that we're worthy of love in our current form. Think of the experiences you've had, the intentional choices you've made, even the unexpected life events you've weathered. Don't forget to give yourself credit for those. Self care. Hopefully, you're well versed in this one. These are the action items, the ways self love comes to life through actions that support your well being. As you know, there are many dimensions of well being, so these are any actions and activities that support your holistic well being. Think about some of your favorite forms of self care and write them down, and even better, write them into your calendar this week. The next question I want to answer is why exactly is self love so important for us to embody? Before I get into the science backed benefits, I want to make a distinction between two terms self love and self compassion. Most of the research on this topic uses the concept of self compassion. This is the practice of treating yourself kindly in moments of struggle. Scientists find this more measurable, whereas the broader term of self love is less precise. For our purposes, they're very closely aligned. So let's get to what the research says. Embodying self compassion can lead to emotional benefits, improved relationship wellness, and even better physical well being. A 2024 study of more than 400 adults conducted during the pandemic found that people who started out with more self compassion tended to feel happier, experience fewer negative emotions, and have lower stress as time went on. Another study of more than 300 nursing students found that higher self compassion significantly predicted greater relationship satisfaction and better conflict resolution styles in romantic relationships. And last but not least, a 2017 study linked self compassion to better overall physical health because those with higher self compassion reported less stress and engaging in more behaviors beneficial to physical health. So, if reducing your stress, feeling happier, strengthening your relationships, or improving your physical well being are on your bingo card for 2026, consider starting inward with self love. And that brings us to our last question. How? How do we show ourselves love? Well, I have 5 ideas for you to try. Number one, start or continue a mindfulness practice that helps you connect one on one with yourself. Spend time alone with yourself. Nurture your self awareness often, daily if possible. Number two, forgive yourself quickly. That third study on physical well being talks about responding to your personal failures, struggles, and difficult circumstances with a kind and forgiving attitude. Life happens. Failures happen. Be quick to acknowledge them, learn from them, forgive yourself if you're feeling down, and move on. Number three, show your self care daily. Many of us save self care for a special occasion. Rethink it as part of your everyday routine. It can be free, it can be 5 minutes. We have a great digital download called the Self Care Practice, where you can choose where you're going to focus your self care that day on more rest, more movement, more focus, more play, more ease, more connection, more boundaries, or something else. Number four, practice positive self talk. Positive self talk can be a bit of a mindset shift if you're used to being critical with yourself. With positive inner dialogue, we're working on getting closer to self acceptance. The key here is noticing when you're being hard on yourself and replacing it with a different phrase. It's handy to have a couple backup affirmations or phrases when you notice yourself heading in a self criticizing direction. Last one, number 5, celebrate your small wins. Give yourself credit for your small accomplishments. Some of us only go through life celebrating the big things, and sometimes those even don't get celebrated, or we need a nudge from friends or partners to celebrate. One idea is to keep a list of these in your journal or in your notes app on your phone. They add up, and writing it down serves as a nice reminder. I also have some journal prompts to help you explore these methods. When was the last time I felt really proud of myself? What is one small act of self love I can do today, possibly for free? What blocks are preventing me from experiencing more self love in my life? Take some time to write and reflect, and then put some of these ideas into action. Remember, the 3 components of self love are self awareness, self acceptance, and self care. Embodying self love in your life can lead to greater emotional and physical well being, less stress, and better relationships with yourself and your partner. I hope you'll take some time this week to explore what self love means to you and what it can look like in your life. Thank you for joining me today, and please share how you're showing yourself love this week. I would love to hear from you. Be well.